The globe is more dangerous than it has ever been since World War II, according to the top British security official. One of Britain's senior diplomats has expressed concern that global relations are more perilous and unpredictable than they have ever been. The fall of the post-World War II global order, China's growth, and Putin's aggression, according to Sir Peter Ricketts, the former national security advisor and head of the diplomatic service for the British government, were placing the world on a fatal route to anarchy. The former British ambassador to France sounded a depressing note about the condition of international ties between the East and West as well as inside Europe during his speech at the Gresham College Peter Naylor Memorial Lecture at Mercer's Hall in the City of London. He also foresaw a perfect storm of issues that may topple the world system. He informed the gathering crowd that the international situation is more perilous and uncertain than at any moment since the end of World War II. He further stated that it's unlikely for the war in Ukraine to end soon. He declared, "We are witnessing the biggest battle in Europe since the Second World War. We are witnessing the destruction of cities by artillery fire. NATO is now reverting to its original aim from 1949, defending the borders of NATO member nations." He then spoke about the devastating invasion of Ukraine by crazed despot Vladimir Putin, saying, "We were encouraged to consider Putin as a brilliant strategist. His war has damaged his military's credibility in addition to failing to accomplish its military goals. NATO is now stronger and more focused than ever before, and Sweden and Finland are considering joining. As Putin seeks to win the war in any way, fears have risen in recent weeks that Putin may launch a nuclear missile over the Black Sea, compelled Defense Secretary Ben Wallace to make a hasty trip to Washington. A Swedish expert has estimated that there is only a 6-to-1 chance of a catastrophic nuclear conflict. Sir Peter stated that he thinks the dictator is doing it primarily to frighten us in regards to Putin's reckless threats of using nuclear weapons and quote. Putin understands that Europeans haven't heard of nuclear weapons in 40 years, he continued. However, he went on to say that a nuclear attack on Ukraine is extremely unlikely since Putin is aware that it would be catastrophic for Russia. It would be an outrageous risk to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine, he remarked. However, he cautioned that it is doubtful that the war will conclude any time soon because the approaching winter will hamper the Ukrainian progress against Russian soldiers. He declared that no side can win an absolute victory. President Zelensky is not likely to consent to a peace agreement that signs off on portions of Ukrainian land. The more likely possibility, according to him, is a tense armistice in the style of Korea, which does not involve the signing of a peace treaty. Both sides would acknowledge that they cannot continue to argue or fight, he predicted, but neither party is willing to ratify a peace agreement or accept that. After several years of fighting, North and South Korea reached a ceasefire in 1954, and a demilitarized zone, DMZ, has separated the two nations ever since. Putin's recent annexation of the Donbas was characterized by Sir Peter as a desperate attempt by the autocrat to claim some sort of victory for the Russian people. He also mentioned the growing threat that China poses to the West in his talk. In contrast to China, who has made significant investments in its military and nuclear arsenal, he claimed that Russia poses an imminent security risk. He urged the international community to create a workable plan for China. Most horrifyingly, he predicted that within the next 10 to 15 years, there will be a serious catastrophe involving China and Taiwan. He continued by saying that Xi Jinping, who has proclaimed himself to be China's leader for life, wants to settle the Taiwan issue before he steps down from his position. Make sure you like and subscribe. See you next time in another war news.